The WHO in talks for global use of 4 COVID-19 vaccines. A discussion about 4 COVID-19 experimental vaccines is happening. The discussion is between the WHO and China. The talks hope to have the organization assess the potential of the vaccines in international use. If the WHO agrees, it will examine the efficacy and safety of the vaccines. And if the results are positive, the vaccines may help fight the pandemic on the international stage. It may also ease the doubts of many over these drugs. According to Reuters, the WHO has an emergency use authorization for unlicensed medical products. A procedure is involved to grant authorization to an entity. The primary effect of these authorization is similar to the FDA's: expedite the vaccine's availability in public health emergencies. For WHO member states and UN procurement agencies, it assists in the determination of acceptable vaccines against COVID-19. Socorro Escalante, the WHO Western Pacific Coordinator for Essential Medicines and Health Technologies, said, "Potentially, through this emergency use listing, the quality and safety of these vaccines and efficacy could be assessed, and then this could be made available for our licensees." The vaccines that may receive the benefit include 2 models developed by state-backed China National Biotech Group, 1 model from CanSino Biologics, and another model from Sinovac Biotech. Currently, these vaccines are involved in human clinical trials in various nations, such as Brazil, Indonesia, Pakistan, Russia, and the United Arab Emirates. One vaccine by CNBG has been granted emergency use authorization by the UAE. Meanwhile, a recent survey by the WHO showed the urgent deployment of multiple COVID-19 vaccines. Not only the death toll is rising, but also the number of individuals affected by mental health services disruption. An estimated over 60% of countries reported disruptions to those services among vulnerable people, while 72% reported disrupted services for children and teenagers, and 70% reported disrupted services for older adults. Also, 61% reported disrupted services for women who require antenatal or postnatal services. Approximately 67% of nations reported disruptions in counseling and psychotherapy services, 65% in critical harm reduction services, and 45% in maintenance treatment for opioid dependence. These figures could slow down the fight against mental health conditions. While 70% of countries have adopted telemedicine to sustain health services, only less than 50% of low-income nations manage to close the gap. But once an effective and safe COVID-19 vaccine is deployed, disparities are expected to decline.